The Chicago Bears come into this 2022 NFL offseason with a lot more questions than answers. A lot of those questions were even before the hiring of General Manager Ryan Poles and head coach Matt Eberflus. One of those questions that needed to be answered for the Bears this offseason is what are they going to do at the wide receiver position. Now, we just got news that the Dallas Cowboys are more than likely to release wide receiver Amari Cooper before the start of the new league year. And questions are going to be asked, is he a good fit with the Chicago Bears? And that is a question that I am going to answer in today's video. But before I get into my thoughts on that, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as that always helps the channel to grow, and click that subscribe button and notification bell so we can continue to help this channel to grow. But without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little prouder.
The Chicago Bears offense finished 30th last season in passing, and with Justin Fields entering year 2 of his career and needing to take that leap to be that franchise quarterback that they drafted him to be, wide receiver is going to be a question that the Bears need to answer either through the draft or through free agency period this year. Now, the Chicago Bears last season had Allen Robinson to pair with Darnell Mooney, but all signs are pointing to Allen Robinson no longer being a Chicago Bear. Even though Darnell Mooney, coming off of a 1,000-yard season, typically a breakout year for a guy in year 2 that was selected in the 5th round, he's still going to be asked to be one of the top receivers in the Chicago Bears offense. Now, I previously have not really felt that Darnell Mooney is a guaranteed number 1 receiver, so the Bears are going to have to address that part this offseason. Even though the offensive line for the Chicago Bears is question number 1 for this roster that needs to be answered, wide receiver is right there number 2 in my opinion, because this Bears passing offense under Matt Nagy the last couple of years has struggled. And outside of Allen Robinson, there has not really been much outside of Darnell Mooney this year. And Allen Robinson no longer going to be on the roster. That is going to be a spot that the Chicago Bears are going to have to fill, because you're going to have to need that number 1 wide receiver to help pair with Darnell Mooney, because Darnell Mooney is more of a slot receiver than he is one of the outside go-to type of threats. Even though Darnell Mooney possesses top-tier speed and he has ability to make guys miss, you're going to have a guy in this offense that complements him, i.e. a guy similar to a Davante Adams like Luke Getsy, the new Bears offensive coordinator, had with the Green Bay Packers. Now, I made a video about Davante Adams possibly being a Chicago Bear, but to be 100% honest, in my opinion, I think that scenario is going to be unlikely, especially with the salary that a guy like a Davante Adams is going to command on the open market. So you're probably going to have to switch gears and go towards another route at that wide receiver position. And one guy that really could fit this Bears offense is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was acquired by the Dallas Cowboys in the 2018 mid-season, and 2019 and 2020 saw him hit 1,000 yards, and 2021 saw him come up just short of hitting that 1,000-yard mark. Amari Cooper signed a 5-year, $100 million deal in 2020, which gave the Dallas Cowboys a hatch, aka a breakout clause, during the 2022 offseason, which could see the Dallas Cowboys owe him nothing if he is cut before the start of the new league year. And all signs are pointing to the Dallas Cowboys getting out of that contract and releasing Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is still a very young receiver. He is still very talented, and he can come into any offense and make an impact. He has great route running. He has good hands. He has serviceable speed. He is strong. He is one of those guys that can go up and get the football. So he is going to fit absolutely good in this Chicago Bears new offense with Luke Getsy. He could come into this Bears offense and play a role similar to what Davante Adams played in Green Bay. And new offensive coordinator Luke Getsy was one of those guys that helped Davante Adams develop into one of the best receivers in the game. And in the offense with Justin Fields' skill set, Justin Fields can take that next step. He can have that complimentary number one wide receiver, develop that core chemistry that is needed in the offense like Luke Getsy will bring to this Bears system, and can have some really good success. Amari Cooper, he does have a little bit of a small injury history, but at the same token, when he is available and when he is healthy, he is productive, and he is one of the top 10 receivers, honestly, in my opinion, that we have in the NFL. And with Amari Cooper being released, he's not going to command the same amount of dollars that a guy like a Davante Adams will. The Bears currently sit at $26 million in cap space heading into this 2022 NFL free agency class. Now, we all know the offensive line for the Bears is a problem, and there's going to be question number one that needs to be answered. Having a number one wide receiver is question number two. And Amari Cooper can come in and be that number one wide receiver and not obtain the same amount of dollars that a Davante Adams will on the open market. Davante Adams is going to probably obtain for at least about $25 to $30 million a year on the market. Amari Cooper made $20 million with the Dallas Cowboys the last 2 seasons, but I don't think he's going to be getting that same amount of money in this free agency. So I could think the Bears could get him on a little bit of a bargain deal, maybe $10 to $15 million a year, maybe on a 1 to 2 year deal, because Amari Cooper, in my opinion, is going to be looking to go into an offense that helps him be the number one wide receiver that he has the talent to be. And a best fit for him will be in Chicago with Justin Fields, and the Bears are going to incorporate a new offensive Luke Getsy that adds more RPO to the system, which best fits Justin Fields' athletic ability. Justin Fields is going to be able to get those throws out on the run, i.e. some of the plays that Amari Cooper had with Dak Prescott back in Dallas. So he's going to be a good fit with this Bears offense, and not only just with the offense, but with the Bears franchise structure as a whole, because you're not going to have to pay those top dollars to get a top tier threat at the wide receiver position, i.e. if you were to look and pursue after a guy like Davante Adams. Amari Cooper still has the talent to be the number one wide receiver. The Amari Cooper still can go up and get the ball. He still has excellent route running and can get open on basically any DB in the league. And the Bears are going to need that going forward to help Justin Fields develop into that franchise quarterback. So it's going to be a good fit for both parts on a bargain deal, and it's going to be a good fit for Amari Cooper so he can get into an offense and live up to those number one wide receiver expectations. But hey, those are just my thoughts on Amari Cooper possibly becoming a Chicago Bear. Leave this video a like, that helps this channel to grow. Comment your thoughts down below. Is Amari Cooper a great fit with the Bears? And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.